Are we on? Oh, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our Ordinary Council meeting at the City of Kwinana. Just like to remind those members of the public in the audience that we do have a live streaming policy, and by being in here, you consent to your image or your voice being part of that policy if you come up and ask a question. I would like to call upon Councillor Barry Winmar to present the Welcome to Country.
Thank you, Worship. I begin by acknowledging my elders past and present, and acknowledge we gather on my ancestral land. This is the land of the Whadjuk Noongar people. Ngalak yening kurulang kurang ngalak noich digit Noongar boja. Noongar mot jerp and yening digit ngalak kwabrak Noongar boja kurulang. From the beginning of time to the end, this is Noongar country. Noongar people have been graceful keepers of our nation for many, many years. Jenny Karajan jerp and digit Noongar boja ngalamaya maya border. Look, listen, understand, and embrace all the elements of Noongar country. This is forever our home. Kai wanjung angkor jerp and niju Noongar boja dajli wangin Noongar boja. Hello and welcome. My heart is happy as we're gathered here on Noongar country tonight.
Thank you, and I just would like to respond by acknowledging we do meet here on the land of the Noongar people and pay our respects to their elders past, present and those future emerging leaders. I'd like to call upon Councillor Brown to read the dedication.
Thank you, Your Worship. May we, the elected members of the City of Kwinana, have the wisdom to consider all matters before us with due consideration, integrity and respect for the Council Chamber. May the decisions made be in good faith and always in the best interest of the greater Kwinana community that we serve.
Thank you. We have one leave of absence previously approved, and that's Councillor Matthew Rouse. There are no members of the public. There is nothing in item 6, 6.1, 6.2, 6.3. Confirmation of the minutes of our ordinary meeting held on the 13th of September. Would anybody wish to speak to those minutes? If not, do we have a mover? Move Deputy Mayor, second Councillor Winmar. All in favour? Against? Carried. Item 8, declaration of interest by members and city officers. Are there any declarations of interest? Nil. Item 9, request for leave of absence. I would like to have a short leave of absence from the 3rd to the 6th of October next week. Could somebody please approve that? All in, thank you. Moved Councillor Winmar, seconded Councillor S. Wood. All in favour? Against? Carried. There is nothing in item 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Item 15, 15.1 is the council policy for the elected members' communication agreement. Are there any questions of the officers in relation to this report? Thank you. Councillor Brown.
Thank you, Your Worship. Those watching at home or in the chamber may have a question on the timing of this item, just given it is the caretaker period. Could the city talk to, I guess, how the timing of this is in line with standard process as it relates to the caretaker period, just acknowledging that it will in essence impact on how the next council does operate?
Through you, Madam Chair. No, this doesn't come under the sort of significant decisions which would fall within a caretaker period. This is just setting in place a process which councils are being required to go to under the local government reforms to having communications agreements. What we're doing is just getting one in place before a model comes out, because if you don't have one in place, then you'll have to follow the model, which could be a lot more prescriptive.
Just a follow-up question, Your Worship. I guess it's why wouldn't we wait to see what the follow-up model looks like before enacting our own? What's the benefit or the reasoning behind this?
Through you, Madam Chair. The reason for it is, as I said, is that the model will be a lot more prescriptive in what you can and can't do. If you look at what's been proposed here, it's a lot more open, so it gives a lot more latitude and leeway in terms of how we engage between elected members and staff.
Thank you. Councillor Winmar.
Thank you, Worship. I do realise that there's some prescriptive arrangements coming out in relation to the communication protocols. I do echo the sentiments of Councillor Brown in bringing about such changes that may have an impact, as in like a Future Act policy around how it engages with the new council coming in and with the caretaker period that we've entered into. One of the concerns would be that hasn't been an opportunity to look at the changes, what they were and what the changes are and what the recommendations are around the benefit of us going on that path when we don't know what that path is, Your Worship. You able to answer that question?
So, are you foreshadowing that you wish to have this item withdrawn or delayed?
I would like to foreshadow that this be deferred
So you'd like to move,
and for further bringing up at a later period, Your Worship.
the item be deferred? Seconder? Oh, sorry, Councillor S. Wood had her hand up first. Councillor Winmar, would you like to speak any further as the mover?
Yeah, thank you, Worship. And look, just imploring my fellow councillors to consider that this does have a significant impact on how the council will operate and the comms agreement that we have in relation to staff and the contact around it. I understand that the reform and the process that we are doing in the track we're on wants to be able to ensure that there's protective factors in place to protect not only us as councillors, but also the way we engage with our officers, especially under freedom of information, and there's no consideration for any whistleblower provisions around that, and especially with access to documents around who can access and what documents are available. I'm just not too sure at the moment where we're going to head in relation to documents that are within council becoming in the public domain and who's going to be able to have access to those documents if any future arrangements or requests are made.
Thank you.
We just need some bit more background on some of those provisions, Your Worship.
Thank you. Councillor Wood?
I just concur with Councillor Winmar, and I think it would be very pertinent if we had a briefing session on this before taking it again to council.
Anybody wish to speak against?
I don't want to speak against Your Worship, but I do have a question for the CEO. I'm just wondering where this particular policy sits with the regulations, because obviously the regulations that fall within the Local Government Act would govern information that a councillor is entitled to. So what is the additional need for this policy?
Through you, Madam Chair, as I said, this policy has come about because under the local government reforms, there is a requirement to have a communications agreement in place. So this is a requirement going forward. All we've done at this point in time has taken how we currently engage and how the communication protocols currently work with council and put that into a policy. As I said, it's very open in terms of how it's applied. What will come, we understand, will be more prescriptive. So if we don't have something in place before the model comes, then we will be required to follow the model. But more than happy if you wanted to defer it, and we'll just see what comes out of it.
Sorry, CEO, is there any timeline for those, the template to come out or the model policy?
Through you, Madam Chair, with DLG unclear.
So, anybody wish to, so I'll take that as speaking, it was a question, but I did ask to speak against. Anyone for the recommendation, or sorry, for the matter to be deferred? Okay, thank you. You wish to speak on the item? Sorry, could you turn your microphone on?
Yeah, sorry, it's been a while since I've been here. I went down to the Premier's office and asked some questions down there. They came back to me the following day saying that the other councils that they'd contacted didn't even know about it. And so I would suggest that we at least confirm that this is going on before we bring it to us again. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll just give the CEO the right of reply on a statement that you made.
Yeah, through you, Madam Chair. I find that statement a little difficult to understand. other councils do know about this. As I said, this has been communicated as part of the local government reforms. There are other councils that do have communications agreements in place. I refer to the likes of Gosnells, Fremantle, Coburn, so they have communications agreements in place. So I'm not quite sure why they would say that other councils do not know about this, because they do. It's been widely communicated. It's been quite clear that there's a requirement for this.
Thank you. Speakers against the matter being deferred? I will speak against it from the chair. Look, I think it's a matter of careful what you wish for here. I think there's some messages here from the CEO, from communications he may have had, which indicates that the template, when it comes out of the model, is going to be a little bit more difficult for some councillors to make inquiries that they may wish to, whereas what I thought here before you wasn't very onerous. It was pretty common sense, really. So therefore, I was going to be happy to support the item. Anyone wish to speak for the matter being withdrawn?
Yes, Your Worship, because that was a question before, so I wasn't speaking against. Just want some clarification around point 8 of the policy from the CEO, which talks about, I could have read it wrong, but it talks about a fee maybe. Sorry, actually, I'll just take that back. It says free, not fee, Your Worship.
You have reached that age now, haven't you? So are you speaking for, against, or are you withdrawing?
I have nothing further.
Okay. Anyone else speaking for the matter? If not, I'll ask the mover, Councillor Winmar. Is there anything further you wish to say in relation to having this matter withdrawn?
Thank you, Bishop. The foreshadowed motion I'd like for consideration is it to be deferred until the first meeting in November, to give time for the current council to look at the provisions, especially around some of the recommendations, and an opportunity for us to provide comments through a briefing to get a bit more clarity.
Can I just clarify? You are foreshadowing, if this recommendation is lost, then you'd foreshadow the matter being delayed, or you're actually putting forward an alternative?
I'd like to put forward that alternative, Your Worship,
That's
to be
just
considered.
clarifying. Okay, so would you consider the date moving out a bit further, because the CEO has just reminded me that council's probably not signed in officially, and so you might wish to...
Thank you, Your Worship. That was remiss of me forgetting that what time the election is. Just at a date post swearing of the new council, please.
In the early new year, I suspect that might be the case. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Worship.
Thank you. If nothing further, I shall put the alternative recommendation to the vote. All in favour? Against? Carried. So I'll look forward to watching it on TV in the new year. Thank you. There's nothing on item 15, 16, 17. Item 18, 18.1, accounts for payment for the month ending the 31st of August 2023. Are there any questions of the officers in relation to any of those account payments? If not, we have a recommendation.
I'll move that, Your Worship.
A move, Councillor D. Wood, seconded Councillor S. Wood. Do any councillors wish to speak on this item? Any of the two councillors? Anyone wish to speak against? I shall put it to the vote. All in favour? Against? Carried. 18.2 is the monthly financial report for July 2023. Are there any questions on those financial activities? Thank you. We have a recommendation. Moved Deputy Mayor, seconded Councillor D. Wood. Deputy Mayor, do you wish to speak on the item? Thank you. Councillor Wood.
No, Your Worship.
Thank you. Anybody wish to speak against? Put it to vote. All in favour? Against? Carried. There is nothing on item 19, 20 or 21. 22 is reports the elected members. Deputy Mayor.
Nothing reporting,
Councillor Winmar.
So conduct the duties required of leadership, nothing to report.
Thank you. Councillor Wood.
No, other than the fact I was in hospital for two operations.
Well,
On
I'm
the vote.
very pleased to see you back and recovered and sitting in your council chair again.
So am I.
Thank you. Councillor Brown.
Nothing to report this time, Your Worship.
Oh, goodness me. Must be a first. Councillor Wood.
I've performed all those duties required of me, plus I attended the Citizens Advice Committee's annual board meeting and general meeting and attended a joint development application planning meeting. Thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you, Councillor.
I have nothing to report.
Thank you. There is nothing, yes, nobody's mentioned the 83 new citizens. There's nothing on item 23. Item 24, mayoral announcements. There's just a few announcements there, but really accolades first and foremost to the City of Kwinana for taking out some really great awards in the past week. The National Employer of Choice for the Oz Active National Award. The city's Healthy Lifestyles program won the Healthy Council Award of the Year and the WA People's Choice Medium-Sized Business Award. And also we had, as part of the Local Government Week, we received the inaugural Outstanding Achievement Award for the Wellard Village 7-Day Makeover Project. Boy, that's a bit of a mouthful there. And it was really great that our Dr. Elise Brewer was there on hand to accept the award from the Local Government Minister David Michael, and as well Claire Cardew from the Town Team Movement. And I know that many of you sitting around the table were part of the 7-day makeover, the inaugural one, and it was so successful. And so it's just wonderful that the city has been recognised publicly for all that hard work and effort. I attended with the CEO to the National Police Remembrance Day ceremony. And as always, it was a very fitting ceremony where we pause and reflect ahead of the actual formal National Day ceremony. There's always we always hold the ceremony in Western Australia a week before the national ceremony in Canberra, and that to give the officers around Western Australia the opportunity to have their own Remembrance Day ceremony. And I was very proud and pleased to again lay a wreath on behalf of the City of Kwinana, along with Mayor Rhys Williams from the City of Mandurah, Mayor Deb Hamlin, City of Coburn, and Mayor Logan Howlett from the City of Coburn. Sorry, did I say Mayor from the City of Rockingham? Mayor Hamlin, sorry. I was also pleased to be about one of 10 women invited to the US Consulate, Siriana Nan's Women in Leadership networking event. A really lovely event with some very high achieving women in attendance. Not talking about myself, I'm talking about those who were in attendance. So it was a very nice 2 hours, something different and unexpected. And I was pleased to join Councillor S. Wood for the Metropolitan Joint Development Assessment Panel meeting yesterday, where the showroom and eating house application was approved on Thomas Road, Casuarina, after, of course, it was recommended by this council. And finally, the CEO and I met with AGL Royal representatives yesterday for a general update, and there's certainly some exciting things coming on the corner of Thomas Road and in that precinct where it's all been cleared and ready to go. It's a very large footprint, so it was very good to just to touch base, and they're happy to come and provide the new council a briefing, just so everybody's on the same page with what is happening in the area. Look, there are my announcements. There are no confidential items, so therefore I shall declare the meeting closed at 5:50. Thank you.